beloved, fighting for all of your worth, thinking you're outnumbered, take a few moments and consider that you're not outnumbered as you may suppose. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 1, the Torah portion of Vayishlach. Let's go to Bereshit, or Genesis chapter 32, and we're going to read the last 2 verses from last week's Torah portion and then proceed to verse 3. And Yaakov went on his way, and the messengers, the Melachim of Elohim, met him. And when Yaakov saw them, he said, "This is the camp of Elohim," and he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Yaakov sent messengers before him to Esau his brother in the land of Seir, the field of Edom. And we'll pause there for today. So Yaakov is heading home. He is a man of now great wealth. He has flocks, herds, men and female servants. He has 11 children that we know of. Daughters are not always listed, but we know he has at least one daughter, Dinah. So that makes a grand total of 12 at the moment, Benjamin yet to be born. And he is successful by a lot of accounts. But his nemesis, his arch rival in Esau, lies somewhere in front of him, and he knows that somehow, at some point, there is going to be an encounter. The last message that he had from Esau was before he left home, that again we know about, and that is that Esau planned at the earliest opportunity to kill his rival. So the spirit of Cain is upon Esau, and he is looking to rub out his competition. The same spirit worked through Shaul Hamelech, King Saul, as he tried to kill David, again, to rub out his competition. It's the same spirit that came upon Pharaoh to rub out the competition, upon King Herod in the days of Yeshua's birth, again, to rub out and kill the competition. It's a pattern that shows up over and again. And so as Yaakov comes into the land, evidently, from my understanding, there is again a changing of the angelic or messenger guard as the messengers that are to accompany him through the land meet him. Now, in verse 3, it's the same word, melachim. It is messengers, are these human messengers that he sends as emissaries to Esau to be those who find out where he's at and what he's up to, or are these the same, I don't like the word angelic or angel necessarily, they are messengers of Elohim. Is that who he sends? I'll leave that up to you to make your determination. What I want us to understand today is that we are not outnumbered. A classic example of this is found in the book of 2 Kings. And in chapter number 6, Elisha has been operating prophetically, and it has caused some political problems between the king of Israel and the sovereign of Aram. And so the Arameans they have sent out a large army to show up at Elisha's doorstep. And it says in verse 14, he sent horses and chariots and a great army there, and they came by night and surrounded the city. And the servant of the man of Elohim, this would be Gehazi, rose early and went out and saw an army surrounding the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said to him, "O my master, what do we do? We're outnumbered. We can't fight this." And he, Elisha, answered, "Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." Well, unseen to the servant's eyes is what Elisha prayed about. He said, and Elisha prayed and said, "Yahweh, I pray, open his eyes and let him see." And Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he looked, and saw the mountain covered with horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. There are more that are for us than there are those who are against us. When we read the headlines, when we read news stories, when we listen to the chatter about all earthly events, regardless of what nation or situation you may be in, it does appear hopeless. It would seem that those who have agendas that are against the word and against the kingdom of the Most High do indeed seem to have the upper hand. They seem to be prevailing. However, let us also understand that the kingdom of Yeshua will prevail. He said the gates of hell will not prevail against us. That is, that the gates of hell, if you will, the kingdom of darkness, their gates are not strong enough. Gates being authorities, their authority is not strong enough to keep us out. We will overcome them. So it's not that the messengers of Elohim are just preventing us, we ourselves, from being overrun, but they're actually here to aid us in obtaining victory, that we overcome our adversaries. A little different mindset. Consider the activity and messengers in the scripture, and I'll just highlight a few. In Acts chapter 12, Herod has killed Yaakov, James, the brother of Yochanan, or John. Killed him with a sword, and it's in the feast day seasons of unleavened bread. He's arrested Shimon Kepha, Simon Peter, and he is holding him until after Pesach and its season is over, and then he's going to present him and take his life as well. Kepha is in prison. He's guarded by 4 squads of soldiers. He's sleeping between 2 armed guards. There are armed guards outside the cell door, and he's bound personally with chains. And it says that in verse 7, a messenger of Yahweh stood by and see a light shone in the building, and smiting the side of Kepha, he raised him up, saying, "Get up quickly," and his chains fell off his hands. The messenger said to him, "Gird yourself, bind on your sandals." And he did so, and he said, "Put on your garment and follow me." And he led him out of the cell, led him beyond the squads of those that were guarding over him, and led him out in the street and told him where to go. None was the wiser. They couldn't figure out what happened. Again, in the book of Acts, chapter number 27, Rav Shaul, the Apostle Paul, is on the ship. It's doomed. It's in a horrible storm. It's doomed for shipwreck. They've given up all anticipation of surviving. And in verse 22, Rav Shaul says to the men, "Now I urge you to take courage, for there shall be no loss of life among you, but only the ship. For tonight a messenger of the Elohim whom I serve or belong stood by me, saying, 'Do not be afraid, Shaul. You have to be brought before Caesar. And look, your Elohim has favorably given you all those who sail with you.'" In the book of Matthew, chapter number 1, Joseph, the husband of Miriam, is about to put her away privately. She's shown up pregnant, and it's not his baby. But it says that a messenger appeared to him in a dream and told him not to be afraid to take this woman to be his wife and what the nature of the pregnancy was. It says in Luke chapter number 1, verse 26, in the 6th month, that is of Elisheva, the mother of Yochanan the immerser, John the Baptist, in the 6th month of her pregnancy, the messenger Gabriel was sent by Elohim to a city of Galilee named Nazareth to a maiden engaged to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the maiden's name was Miriam. And coming to her, he said, "Greetings, favored one, the master is with you. Blessed are you among women." And he told her that she was to give birth to the Messiah. That's the same messenger that shows up in Daniel chapter 10. You never know how many of these messengers are around you and what power and ability they have to guard and protect you, because you are on assignment. Yah has a destiny for you and you must complete it. They're here to make sure you do. And we'll see you again tomorrow. To this, shalom.